Hey, what's up? It's Nico. So before we go into the video, I just want to let you know that I found a bug after recording the video. So we fixed this now and rerun the generation. So this is what the content now looks like, and this is what the images looks like. So especially the images in the video you're about to see are very bad, but rest assured we have fixed this and the images are now looking a little bit more like this. All right, so let's quickly go over them. I think this is pretty good. This looks good. I mean, after all, you have to decide which images you want to add to your content. Just so you know how we are generating these images, we are looking at the text that comes right before an image, and then we generate the image based on that text, all right? Here we have a black and white picture. All right, this looks pretty creative. Although the text doesn't make sense, so maybe you have to download it and fix these errors here. If you want to go with the overall idea of the image, I think it's creative, but it's also looking a little bit weird. Alright, that's it for the images. Now we're going back to the video. I just want to keep you in mind that the images you're about to see do not reflect the quality you're about to get, because as I said, we had a bug, I fixed it last night, and the images you are getting are like 10 times better now. Hey, what's up? It's Nico. So I was asked if our new SEO module can work with German text. So in this demo, I'm going over the exact steps that I do to write German copy. Basically, it's the same process as with any other language, but what you need to do is you need to switch your language to German. And when you do the analysis, you would also select the search language German and the search engine Germany. Now, we would like to rank for the keyword or the keyword phrase hypnosis apprenticeship, which in German it is Hypnose Ausbildung, and I'm going to run an audit now. So it's basically the same exact steps, just for another language. Now this process takes a moment, maybe up to a minute, because we are downloading all the competitors and we are analyzing each of them individually. All right, so here it is already. For the readability grade, it is a grade 10 plus almost always by default, because with German language you tend to see longer sentences. I guess that's just part of our language, but so unfortunately the readability score here doesn't tell us anything about our competitors because they are basically all bad in quotes. And then I would go on, select the competitor I want to audit. So I select the first three and I hit apply. Now again, I can review my keywords. Of course, if you don't know anything about the German language, this might not tell you anything, but for me personally, I would probably deactivate a few, maybe this one over here. All right, and that's already all to it. I'm now going into the SEO content creation process and I'm going to find a focus keyword, which I'm using AI for. Alright, I could just use the first one, which was my search query, or pick another one, or find more suggestions if I find something that fits better. But let's continue with the first one. And the same for the title. So I'm going to use AI to suggest me a title. Alright, actually I like the last one. The other ones are a little bit over the top, I think. You can always find more, but I'm going with this one over here. And now I have to set up my outline. Again, I'm using AI for this, but you can totally customize it if you want to. Or you can do it like I do. I use AI to get a rough draft, and then I edit it from there. All right, let me edit these headlines. I'm not sure about this one over here. I think this is redundant. All right, let me confirm it and actually check how many headlines I should use. I go back to my competitors and keywords analysis tab, and here I see I need 15 headings and 6 to 8 images, just to keep that in mind because I want to activate some images. So 15 headings it is. I have 14. Okay, so let's add one more, and we can do this by adding somewhere in between or at the very bottom, maybe here, and then use AI to suggest a headline, or as I said, type it out yourself, but you know, I don't want to type that much, so I actually think this is pretty relevant here because it's like a forecast to what is coming, and this is coming last, so it really makes sense to me. Okay, so let's activate some images. I think I needed 6 to 8. Let me quickly check. 6 to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Personalized voice. I've shown this process in my first video. If you haven't checked it out, click on the Copyspace AI blog and check out the articles. So for this one, I'm going to use the default and not train my own voice, but it's really up to you. Okay, for the lengths, I already forgot how many words we need. Oh, and by the way, I think I will ship an update this week that will show the suggestion over here, so we don't have to switch back and forth. But right now I need to check. Oh, it's pretty short actually. So we have 16 or what? No, we have 15 headings on a very small piece of content. I will probably go a little bit over this word count, otherwise my paragraphs would be very small. So I'm deciding against the recommendation here because I think I know better. You know, 1,000 words with 16 headlines is really, or 15, whatever we have. Yeah, 15 is really not a lot of content per headline. So I'm going a little bit overboard here. Maybe try the first actually. For the readability, I like to go a little bit lower by default. I always go around 5 or 6, even if my competitors have a readability of 8, because I think that the text is more readable. And for the point of view, maybe we should go with plural here, because I'm pretending like I'm a service who provides these education, and so it's more like a we and us instead of a I. You know, in my cookie example, it made sense to write from the I perspective, but it's certainly not always the case, right? All right, I like to use bold and italics. I'm not using a conclusion or FAQ. So my target audience is people who live in Germany, people who speak German. I compete with 3 competitors and I optimize for 21 keywords. Now I don't have a blog in this field, so internal linking doesn't make sense here. But if you have a blog, you can just paste your sitemap, click validate just to make sure that we are able to read all your links. And then you would go on with writing, which I'm doing right now. So I click write for me and wait for Copyspace to write my blog post about Ihr Leitfaden für eine erfolgreiche Hypnoseausbildung. I will be back in a second. Alright, so now that we finished writing, I can see that we finished at a 79, which is a good score. It is not perfectly great. I think we have some room for improvements, but let's quickly go over why it is only, in quotes, a 79. So we hit the readability of 10 plus, which is not that hard, because for German language and how our readability check works, this is kind of always the case. Then we hit the word count. We are in between 700 to 1100. We hit the image target and we hit the headings target, which is fine. What we don't hit is the paragraphs target. And the reason is, as I've said before, we are squeezing 15 headings into 1,000 words. So we don't have room for a lot of content. And so it will not create that many paragraphs. So we only have a small piece of content per headline. What we can do is go in here and manually add these paragraphs, okay? But as I said in my previous videos, the important part here is just understanding why these metrics are as they are and then come up with your own conclusion. For me, I wouldn't worry about this metric now at all. You can add paragraphs, but you don't absolutely need to. Now for the keywords, I can see some are not optimized at all. So that just means that our process had problems finding a good fit for this keyword, for example, or for this keyword. And now that I'm looking at this keyword, I shouldn't have added it in the first place because it is kind of redundant. So I would deactivate it anyway. And the same goes for this one. And actually the same goes for this one, as this phrase doesn't make sense in this order. So I should have taken the time to review these keywords more thoroughly. But luckily, AI did not force them into my content, so I can now disable them and they will also not be counted towards the score, which is great. But here we have a keyword that is over optimized. We should have it 2 times, but we have it 12 times. Now, since this is my main keyword or a variation of it, I actually appreciate that it pops up 12 times and I would keep it. So same for this one, it is 4 times over the target count, but then again, it's only 4 times in total, so I would keep it as well. So yeah, basically, I wouldn't do anything at all if I like the content, which we go over right now. So you can pause the video and read it out for yourself. I'm quickly going over these images here. And yeah, for example, if you're not happy with an image, for example, this one, you can always remove it and use the slash commands and create a new one. So you have two options. You can continue writing from here, or you can draw an image. And now it will try to find a new image based on the surrounding text. Alright, so this looks better, but it looks like a hotel suite or something. But then again, we only have a very small text snippet that AI looks at to draw an image. And I think it's basically not long enough. So overall, I would probably write longer content. So I would probably switch to another length, or I would reduce the headline count so that we have more words per headline. These are your two options, right? Even if that would be against the recommendation over here. So I would just, say, okay, I know better. So I create a setup that goes against the perfect, in quotes, recommendation. Okay, so let me quickly scroll over the entire content. You can pause the video at any point and read it for yourself. Let's quickly review these images. Wow, that looks interesting. Yeah, this one is funny. Basically, what is written here is that you go deep and explore the human awareness and go on a journey to find the secrets of hypnosis, and it drew this image from that. It is interesting, and I'm not sure if I would include it. Again, the surrounding text is just not enough, I think, to draw a proper image. But of course, we will go in there and see if we are doing something wrong with prompting. So I will update you on this one for sure. Okay, so this was it for our images. Let me quickly scroll to the end so you can pause the video and read it out for yourself and see if this fits your writing needs. And on a final note, you have a couple of options how you can tweak the output. So for example, you could set the language to German informal. This would already completely change the writing style. You could change the AI model, of course, that you want to use for writing. This will also have a big impact on how the output is, but I personally like writing with GPT-4. Then you can set up a personalized voice, which will also have impact on the output. And of course, you can change the readability if you want to. And this will also impact your output significantly. All right, so this is it for the video. Once again, we are now exploring why these images are sometimes not that relevant, or maybe they are. And yeah, I will keep you posted on any progress we make. Okay, so here's just a quick update. So I ran this again with the keywords disabled, and also what I did is I increased the word count because the previous article couldn't go into depth because of the small amount of words per headline. And yeah, so I increased the length from 600 to 1200 to 1200 to 2400 words. And yeah, basically ran this exact setup again. You can see that now I got a penalty because I missed the word count. But now I have way more paragraphs. Okay, I'm a little bit over the target, but I can easily fix this by just removing 2 paragraphs. Feels a little bit like cheating, right? And now again, I can review my keywords. But what I want to point out is that these are all just guidelines. And again, if you have like 15 headings and you go with a length of 600 to 1200, you are basically telling Copyspace to only use a few words per headline, so you will never reach any depth in your article. So in this special case, especially if you're working with very small articles like up to 1,000 words, I would decrease the headline count or increase the word count. Alright, so let me quickly go over the article with you. You can pause the video at any position where you want to read it, but it has certainly now added more depth. Alright, that's it for the quick update. If you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video or reach out to us, and have a great day.